What's going on, everybody? I'm back again with another video, and today I'm in Fort George, which is a neighborhood between Washington Heights and Inwood, and it's like a little bit of a hidden gem in a super residential area. And to my right hand, you see there are like some stones and some rocks. Okay, that's like literally Fort Tryon Park is right there, but underneath it's a subway station. And if you go to the other side of 190th Street, it's the deepest subway station in New York City. But I'm gonna stroll around the neighborhood to see what can I find, and I'm gonna take you guys with me, so join me. And then for those who always ask, are there any hills in New York City? This is an example right here. This neighborhood is literally surrounded in a hill, and if you go up there, there's more streets back that way. But then I'll show you what's going on ahead of me. Then we got some residential apartments right here. Pretty nice and well maintained. Good thing I'm gonna go down the hill right now. I'm gonna walk close to the borderline of Inwood to see what's happening over there. Then I'm gonna make my way back towards St. Nicholas, see what the main street looks like, and see what else can this neighborhood offer. It's another crazy thing that makes no type of sense to me is it's already spring, but it's really freezing today. Like last week it was pretty warm, but all of a sudden I'm back again wearing jackets. But hey, that's the New York weather. Then ahead of me I see action going on. So we're making it deep into the neighborhood. This is Broadway right here. You see the high-rise buildings ahead. But I think this is Nago Avenue. If I walk straight, it would take me close to Dykeman, and that's the borderline of Inwood. And you can see some apartment complex happening right here. So there is a lot to see. I don't know where to go, but probably gonna begin with Nago Avenue to see what can I find. And this is Nago, and you can see a little tiny street there that takes you up the hill. And I like how well maintained the streets are. And you see a development of apartment complex going on over here. So this is kind of like a little hidden gem in Upper Manhattan, because this is part of Manhattan, but all the way up. But it's not the northernmost neighborhood in Manhattan. The northernmost neighborhood in Manhattan, I made a video there like last year. It's called Marble Hill, but yeah. Then we're gonna walk around here, so you got Broadway that goes all the way to the Bronx and all the way to Lower Manhattan. And this will take me to Dykeman, which it borders with Inwood. But we're gonna see what else can we find in this street. Then ahead of me is gonna get more interesting. I see more action going on over here. So I'll walk straight, but then I'll show you what's going on. If you detour around here, you see apartment complex around the streets. Then we got this building here with a lot of business going on. So pretty interesting area over here. They got like insurance stores, a couple of restaurants. Gonna assume they got some pretty good restaurants here, probably really decent prices. One of the main reasons that I come all the way uptown is for the food. Got some pretty good Latin food here, for like really good price, and it fills you up compared to if you go to Midtown Manhattan. But yeah, so far it's looking pretty good. And I think if I merge over here, it's literally like a hill. Just gonna show you what's happening right here. So yeah, there's a hill all the way up, and it takes you to this apartment complex. But yeah, one thing about Inwood, Washington Heights, and then this neighborhood, Fort George, is that they got tons and tons of, hills. So you can do like a lot of cardio when you walk around here. Then we got this here, you can send money to a Latin country. They got this all over this neighborhoods around here. Then we got like an income tax joint, restaurant right here, barbershop. So pretty much the neighborhood has it all. Then the 1 train line is over that way, I believe. Then I'm just passing by the 1 train, and I think where those buildings are is kind of like Inwood, which is another neighborhood all the way uptown. Then this is Fort George Hill, and I'm passing a part that's called High Bridge right next to me. But I'm gonna walk straight to see what can I find, and gonna merge all the way into St. Nicholas. Then up here I'm doing some really intense cardio going up the hill. They even got like a parking lot here. I think I see a bike lane. So it must be crazy going down the hill on the bike. Then you got some apartment complex. I don't know how clear you can see over here, but it goes all the way down there, and they got a tall building like this, and the 1 train line passes by there. So yeah, this is pretty cool. I don't know how clear you can see, but I just came down from all the way over there, and I'm kind of running out of energy. But I got a long way to start, so give you an inside look how it goes down that way, the hill. Pretty cool though, you know. But then if I go straight over here, this is gonna take me straight into St. Nicholas, and it goes deep down to the Heights. Okay, this over here is St. Nicholas Avenue, which is a busy street, and Fort George goes all the way to 181, and it's kind of divided, you know, between Fort George and then Hudson Heights on the other side. But we're gonna walk around here, then we're gonna make it into the more residential area and end up in Fort Tryon Park. And as you can see here, this is St. Nicholas. You know, a lot of stores, a lot of restaurants. Over here it's not too busy, but when you go around 175th by the Heights, that's where it gets pretty busy. This is what it looks like. Then you get a street like this. I gotta tell you, I think the hardest part about this neighborhood is trying to choose where to eat. There's like tons of restaurants over here, you know. Like I said, I always come up here for the good food and the cuisine. But yeah, so the hill goes up, the hill goes down, and not much happening over here. It's just peaceful and quiet. But still, it looks pretty cool. And at the end, I can see some tall buildings. That's actually the Heights right there. So well, I'm probably gonna do one block or two around here, then I'm gonna merge into some of the residential streets. So I'm gonna walk towards this way because I wanna check out the park that's called Highline Park. And the thing about that park, it's probably gonna overlook the Bronx. And I made a video of Morris Heights in the other side where you can see the Heights in this area over here. So I'm gonna walk towards that way to see what it looks like. And then we're gonna turn back and go the other way and see what the other side of the neighborhood looks like. So far, this is what you get. You know, it's mostly apartments, residential area. You know, well-maintained buildings, and the sidewalks are pretty nice and wide. So pretty much, you know, if you come uptown in a lot of neighborhoods in the Bronx, they pretty much look like this, you know, similar. But I figure if I go to the other side by Fort Tryon Park, the apartments will get pretty nicer, but I'm saving that for last. I want to see what's happening over this side. This is part of the park here, and they got recreational activities. And when you see those buildings over there, that's Bronx, Morris Heights right there, and I think Roberto Clemente Park should be over that way. But yeah, you know, nothing crazy happening over here, just peaceful and quiet. But now I'm just gonna go to the other side of the neighborhood to see what can I find, you know. So far, pretty interesting, you know, something different. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it to 187, then I'll merge it to Broadway to see what's going on. Because I know it's like a main street and they have like a lot of stores and things happening over there, so I think it's gonna be pretty interesting to see what's happening over that side. And so far you can see how quiet the streets are over here, despite it having like a lot of apartment complex. Or maybe it's just brutally cold today, so maybe in the summertime it might be more packed. This is 187 here, so I'm gonna merge to my right and make it all the way towards Broadway to see what can I find. Seems like they're renovating this church or building over here. And I'm sure this neighborhood looks much nicer during the summertime when the leaves come out of the trees, you know. Because I know there's a lot of trees over here, but you know, of course, because it's still really cold, so the leaves haven't come out yet, but looking really forward to warmer days when it comes pretty quick. Here I am going down the hill. Like I said, the funny thing about this neighborhood, there's tons of hills, but I want to show you the streets over here. Look at these apartments, they look pretty nice. Even has a balcony and everything. So like I said, I'm gonna make it towards Broadway, then make a left and walk towards 181st and make it all the way to Cabrini Boulevard, because I think that street is gonna be pretty residential and nice, and it will take me all the way to Fort Tryon Park. Then we explore a little bit of the park and we wrap up the video. But I'm not sure how much you can see in the distance. There's like a hill that goes steep all the way down, and there's some apartment complex all the way back there. So it's not really a big neighborhood, but you could do a massive workout over here. Not sure if the camera does justice, but look how deep down the cars pass by. The ones must be walking all the way up, but good thing I'm walking down. But yeah, this is just crazy. You can see the buildings over here. I like the sky, how blue it is, but it's just really freezing outside. And this over here is Broadway. And Broadway goes all the way down by 175th and emerges with St. Nicholas. But you can see how wide the streets are. They even got like a gas station over here. One thing that's pretty crazy is that you usually don't notice a lot of gas stations around Manhattan. We probably got to go all the way uptown or going near the waterfront of the highways. But I think a little bit more ahead, it gets better and there's more things to see. So here it gets more interesting. You can see some of the apartment complex. Then now I'm going all the way up the hill, so it's like a roller coaster walking the streets. Then this is Matt Steele's in the corner. I guess it's like a department store. So in these neighborhoods, you could get anything. You really don't need like a mall, you know. Just walking distance, it got stores of all kinds. Anything that you need, you know, you can get it. So here, got a store with appliances. There's more stuff happening ahead. So one block down for me is 181st, so I'm gonna make it right there. It's also like another busy street, but then that's like the borderline of Washington Heights where Fort George, and it's kind of like the nicer area of Washington Heights. But yeah, it'll take you all the way to the waterfront. You can get a view of George Washington Bridge.
You could use, so some side?
You can see it gets busy over here. But now we're gonna turn into this way. Somebody feed the birds, look. They're eating. But then we're gonna walk here all the way towards Cabrini Boulevard. And then to my left is Washington Heights, and to my right is Fort George. You can see how nice the street is. But I might make a detour in Fort Washington Street to see what it looks like, you know, some of the regular neighborhoods. And there's like a park called Bennett Park. It's probably nothing crazy, but I want to take a look at it. You know, I love looking at the local parks in the neighborhood. So I'll make a detour there, then we're gonna turn back and head towards Cabrini Boulevard to see what's going on. This looks a little bit like Morris Heights in the Bronx. Similar, going up the hills, you know, the business in the first floor. Do love this old buildings over here, they're pretty cool. So this is Fort Washington Street right here. Let's make a little detour to see what it looks like. As you can see, it's mostly apartment complex. So far it looks pretty cool, you know. Then the A train passes by 181st too. But yeah, let me see if I pass by the local park. I think it's over that way to see what it looks like. I don't think I've ever been in this area as much as I've been a lot around here. It's the beauty about exploring, you know. You discover new things. I gotta tell you, this neighborhood kind of took out my energy because the hills going up and down. But that's how it is. You gotta be in shape and have a good pair of shoes to explore around New York City. So I gotta tell you, this side is really nice. I'm looking at some beautiful architectures around here. And the park is right here, so I'm probably gonna walk around squares, explore this area over here a little bit. Then we make it to the other side of the neighborhood. Kind of gives you a little vibe of Central Park, but much more local. And this is the entrance to the park. My first time right here. Seen the map, but I've never been around here. Then there's some beautiful buildings surrounding it. But let's see what we can find around here. So not busy, but it's pretty nice right here. I could use a little bit of more greenery. Then they got something like a history or something like this, like a fort. Let's check it out. And they got a huge space. So maybe in the summertime, this can get pretty packed over here. This over here is really cool. Look at this. Kind of reminds me when I grew up in San Juan, Puerto Rico, by the Fort El Moro. They had something like this. So a little bit of history right here, you know, which is really cool. And then in a lot of parts of New York City, you see the traditional stones. I guess it runs all over New York, especially in the hills. This side is nice, and this region over here is called Hudson Heights. And I think Hudson Heights is probably the nicest side of Fort George, which I like it so far, you know. Yeah, pretty interesting neighborhood. I'm gonna explore the street right here, that's really beautiful. Then over this side, I wanna show you how beautiful the apartments are ahead of me. Look at it. It's like a beautiful residential street with nice architecture. So it's like you literally enter another world right here. This is the quiet street right here. And they got this over here, but this is actually a private property, so I cannot walk around here, but still pretty cool to look at. And a nice looking street right here. The street here keeps going. I think if I go straight, it'll take me right into the entrance of Fort Tryon Park, which is also like another hidden gem in Uptown. They're doing a little bit of construction behind me, so that's why you hear a little bit of a noise. But it's pretty different, and even the different type of people that lives around here compared to where you see around the Heights by St. Nicholas. So that's one crazy thing about New York City, that sometimes you could be in a street that's busy, and then within a couple of blocks down, it's like you literally enter another world. But that's one thing I like about this city. You know, here they got this little thing right here in the middle that makes it pretty interesting. Just gotta watch where I cross the street. Like I say, Fort Tryon Park is right that way. But I just want to make a little detour around Cabrini Boulevard, because I think there might be some pretty interesting things to look at right here. So I'll show you guys in a bit. So this is actually Cabrini Boulevard. Like I say, if I keep walking straight, I'm gonna end up by Fort Tryon Park. It's such a peaceful vibe. Of all the time that I've been around here, never knew about this area over here. You know, it's like you enter another vibe. I know years ago I went and made a video about Fort Tryon Park, but I never explored like the surroundings. But I knew it was like a different vibe. So good at that, I came back today to see what the neighborhood looks like. And I gotta tell you, it's really cold. This winter wasn't brutally cold, but today is like, wow. Oh man, because it was warm, then it just dropped down. Like, and I think it's only like the second day of spring today, but it's just crazy. It's like literally like 30 degrees outside. You know, here, not sure how much you can see because of the trees, but it goes down the hill. The Hudson River is right there, and then New Jersey's on the other side. So it's like you literally just enter another world right here. Then 190th Street is right here. So, you know, pretty cool vibes. And then if I keep walking straight, the street is gonna do like a little curve to the right, and there should be like a little circle. And I think there might be something pretty interesting for me to capture. You know, here's getting pretty nice. The entrance of Fort Tryon Park is ahead. And there's like a playground over here with a gym, even a basketball court. And this is the little circle over here that says Fort Tryon Park. So it's been a minute since I've been all the way up here. But really good to be back. It's like you literally enter up another world right here. And pretty beautiful. I entered Fort Tryon Park, and it's been a long time since I've been here, but I gotta tell you, this is a super underrated park all the way up here in Upper Manhattan. Also, Fort Inwood Park is really good. Even though it's not a big park, but you could do a lot of hiking. I'm gonna wander around a little bit just to show you what's going on, then we're just gonna wrap up the video. It's been an amazing evening exploring this beautiful neighborhood of Fort George. So yeah, as you enter here, you see how they maintain it. They got a lot of flowers going on. Because, you know, we're in spring season, even though it doesn't feel like spring weather, it's freezing outside, but. And in this park also, it does a lot of hiking. Goes all the way back there. You can easily get lost. I'm gonna try to go down this way to see what can I find. And there goes a helicopter. And then you see how steep down the stairs are. And over here, we got this impressive view right here. New Jersey's in the background. I see the buildings of Fort Lee, which borders with George Washington Bridge. And they got this here that kind of resembles a fortress. Maybe if I go in this corner, I get a better view. And then you see the nature. So like, if you guys have a chance, I highly recommend that you try out exploring this park. Super nice and it's super local, so you got it literally all to yourself. And then the West Side Highway passes literally underneath by this park. And then here you get this, but it's super steep down, but that's New Jersey. And the wall that you see over there, that's literally the Palisades. So it's pretty nice. Then George Washington Bridge is over this way. So I'm gonna walk over this way to see if I can get the better view of George Washington Bridge. Man, this is just amazing. I feel like I literally just enter another world. And it's just crazy that this is really close to Washington Heights. But I don't know if you can see the bridge right there behind me. There it is, guys. The bridge. Really cool, right? So I gotta say, it's crazy to believe that you are in Manhattan. When you guys think about Manhattan, a lot of people, they don't visualize that we got places like this, like nature. They only think about skyscrapers, but if you come all the way uptown, this is what Manhattan looks like. So yeah, George Washington Bridge, New Jersey over that way. But yeah, this is really, really a hidden gem, and you got it all to yourself, so really beautiful, and I recommend that you come up here. So that was the end of my video exploring Fort George all the way here in Upper Manhattan. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more. Be safe out there, everybody. God bless y'all, and peace.